What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, an interesting video for you here on the channel. Who could win the men's Money in the Bank? I'm going to have some long predictions now that we're out of WrestleMania season to talk about long things that I could see happening. For example, the Money in the Bank winner, who I think could win Money in the Bank. Today, we're going to talk about some honorable mentions. We have a list 1 through 10. 10 being least likely, 1 being most likely. It's ranked and it's also shown least likely to most likely. But I also still want to say that probably top 4 is mostly tied with each other. Like, this is a stacked Money in the Bank. But yeah, let's get started, honestly, with the honorable mentions because there's a lot to talk about. Honorable mentions. Now, there's a lot of honorable mentions, and I'm going to go through each one why. John Cena's in here because I have a bad feeling that they could put John Cena in the Money in the Bank match to try and ruin wrestling and win Money in the Bank. If that happens, I will crash out because I really do believe that we need them to separate and not have this happen because, honestly, John Cena, Money in the Bank, please don't. I need a talent elevated. We did that last year. Drew McIntyre just wasted the briefcase. Don't do it again, please. Dominic Mysterio would be a really good one to win. Has the IC title. Don't think it's going to happen. Jacob Fatu, a really good one to win. Has the US title. I don't think it's going to happen. Aleister Black, a little new, and I don't think they're going to push him into the main event scene. I think it's more mid-card for now. So right now, don't have him there. You see Chad Gable. I'm talking about El Grande Americano. I really was thinking there's a chance with El Grande Americano. I don't see that. If this was a regular Chad Gable, maybe, but Money in the Bank with Chad Gable and El Grande Americano, just more than likely no. Rey Fenix, probably in the match, not gonna win. I think more than likely him, even Penta, is not gonna win at all. Carmelo Hayes won the Andre the Giant. I don't think Money in the Bank's for him. And watching previous years, I like even Damian Priest, for example. There's a fine line that they need them to hit, like that mid card for sure. They're better than the mid card to win this Money in the Bank. So Carmelo Hayes hasn't won anything in the mid card. Can't really see it. Penta is here at number 10. The only reason why I have Penta here is because I think he's more of a better singles act than Rey Fenix right now. Penta is incredible. He would be really over with the Money in the Bank. I have a feeling that WWE has a little bit of, not jealousy, has a little bit of a ha 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 laughing kind of feel when it comes to them in AEW and tries to make AEW look a little bad. I'm not a big AEW fan, let me say that. It's just, I just notice things. I still think WWE does talents right, unless it's these releases recently. I really just have to believe that, in my opinion, I think that, this is crazy to say, but I notice it a lot. I feel like when there's an AEW star that comes in to WWE, they give him a pretty decent push. They don't just screw him up. The only one that I could really see that they gave no push to really recently was Andrade, which they gave him a decent one at first, but there hasn't been an insane push. Penta, been a pretty good push. Rey Fenix, pretty good push. WrestleMania match, for example, I think that's a really big push. Aleister Black, they're going to push. Ethan Page is a big one. Cody Rhodes, obviously. Ricky Saints. I'm trying to think if there's some other ones that I'm forgetting. It's just names like that I think there's a big push usually when they leave AEW. Penta, I think they could really push him with the Money in the Bank. I would like to see maybe Penta with the Money in the Bank. But it's not going to happen with this stacked lineup. Ludwig Kaiser is an interesting one. I just believe that he would need the mid-card title a little bit better for him to really have the Money in the Bank. I think there's better options that could win Money in the Bank. Ludwig Kaiser is kind of surpassed, in my opinion, just the regular singles act. It needs to be in the mid-card titles and need to really win a mid-card title. But he's not there when it comes to winning Money in the Bank because the thing that I'm talking about with Money in the Bank that I kind of said a second ago, you have to be a little bit better than the mid-card titles and could almost win that main event title. I think of like Damian Priest when he won it. He has had some mid-card reigns. LA Knight didn't have any at the time. Damian Priest won because he was right there to be in that main event scene. So Damian Priest, for example, is a good example. Drew McIntyre won last year. I mean, that's why I think Ludwig Kaiser probably not. Karrion Kross is another one that's exact same like Ludwig Kaiser. I would put Karrion Kross more on the chance of winning than Ludwig because that giving Karrion Kross the Money in the Bank could solidify him as a top talent in WWE. If you want to make your talents even higher with Karrion Kross, give him the Money in the Bank briefcase. You have another main event player just right there. The promos Karrion Kross can deliver, the stuff that Karrion Kross can do is just incredible. I'm a huge Karrion Kross guy, and I really do believe that Karrion Kross should get this Money in the Bank briefcase, but there's some better options that makes me believe he won't win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Up next is Finn Balor. So originally I didn't even have him on this list, and then I really started to think of all the possible people that could win. And I feel like Finn Balor is going to have a feud with Dominic Mysterio for this IC title, so it's hard for me to 100% see this. But when I'm thinking of Money in the Bank, I'm thinking of, my nose is just itchy. I don't know why my nose is itchy. When I'm thinking of Money in the Bank, I'm thinking of somebody who could also, like I know I was saying all before, somebody who could also have fallen out of the top scene and needs to be reintegrated but don't know how to reintegrate him. Finn Balor could with the Money in the Bank briefcase here. Now imagine that. Finn Balor with the Money in the Bank briefcase cashes in on Jey Uso. I'm just saying, I think there's a lot of stuff that you could do with Finn Balor with the Money in the Bank briefcase where people kind of get a little mad, yes, but at the same time, everyone who loves Finn Balor like they do would probably get super hyped when they realize Finn Balor has the Money in the Bank briefcase and he's going to win a championship. So hopefully that's another interesting one that could really help Finn Balor reintegrate himself then for fans to kind of not care for him anymore. Up next is Jimmy Uso. Going to put him lower because when we talk about mid-card titles and talk about U.S. title stuff, he's not really there. But then I was really thinking, Jimmy Uso has gone some good wins. Drew McIntyre's a win he's gone. He's been pushed as a singles act. Fans are overhyped with him. Look at him over a Ludwig Kaiser or Karrion Kross. People love Jimmy Uso. I think an interesting thing, which I hope it doesn't happen because I think Jimmy Uso should go for a mid-card title just like Jay. An interesting thing they could really do is give Jimmy Uso Money in the Bank. That would be insane if they would give Jimmy Uso Money in the Bank. I don't think ultimately it will happen, but you could really tell some storylines with maybe Jay potentially cashing in or really just, I guess, John Cena, but I don't think anyone's going to cash in on John Cena. It's really Jay. So that's why I kind of step back a little bit when it's Jimmy Uso. Bronson Reed is an interesting one that I've really liked since like December, but ultimately there's better contenders. That's the only reason why he's lower here. Coming back from injuries usually means either a big push or a horrible push. And I think it's going to be a big push for Bronson Reed. He started getting that momentum when he first got injured. Everyone loved Bronson Reed when he was giving the tsunamis. I could really see Bronson Reed one day show up, start giving insane tsunamis to just somebody, starts destroying somebody. Bronson Reed then enters himself into the Money in the Bank conversation and wins Money in the Bank. Bronson Reed, I know, like I said, the IC title things, but if you're coming back from injury, you could really push Bronson Reed. That's the only reason why I'm having him higher than most of the mid-card people that I was saying. I think he's number 4 on this list. He's number 4. So he's the highest one that hasn't won a mid-card title, and I really do believe that with the push they could do for him, it would be way worth it. Up next is Logan Paul. Now, this one might be a little insane to you and a little one that you might not like. My phone is going off. Why is my phone going off? Oh, Shotzi just got released. That's nice to see. That's why my phone was going off. That's great. That's incredible. Logan Paul, though, let's go back to the actual video. You saw a live reaction of me seeing Shotzi getting released like everyone else. Logan Paul, I really do feel that they might give him Money in the Bank. I don't know. I almost put him 2. We're in Los Angeles too. Oh my gosh. I'm now realizing they might give it to him. The thing is that Logan Paul is right there for a main title. Now, there's two reasons why I don't think it could happen. One, Logan Paul's great in these feuds. Oh my God, no! Now I'm realizing. Okay, let me give you reasons why it could happen. Eyes on the World Heavyweight Championship. Logan Paul will draw that. Two, give him Money in the Bank. That's going to be on a podcast every week. People are going to be very interested in seeing what he could do with that Money in the Bank briefcase. Three, he's so, and I mean so much fan attraction with heat. They might just give it to him because when we hear Logan Paul, we're going to get pissed off at him. Now, I don't think it will happen because I think they're going to go with actual, like, insane wrestlers, even though Logan Paul is up there as talent-wise with wrestlers. I mean, real wrestlers that have been in the business for a while. But Logan Paul, I would not be shocked. He has the talent to do it, and he's right there to be getting one of those championships. It's just, will they do it one day? I don't know. I really don't know. Up next is Sami Zayn. I just realized that was Bronson Reed's my fifth because I forgot about Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is the one that I keep going back and forth on. Is it fake? Is it fiction? He is just there. He just needs a title shot. He is just there for winning a main title. It's just there. He has IC titles. He's had mid-card titles. Sami Zayn is just there. He just needs the match and needs to win. Will it happen, though, is the question. Ultimately, I think right now, probably not. I think ultimately Sami Zayn really is somebody that I keep just going back. His whole thing right now is that he said he's going to win a world title. He's going to try and go for success. Could be a big play for him to win Money in the Bank. But yeah, I really do think that chances are he's not going to win Money in the Bank. But if you want to put a title on Sami Zayn and maybe even cash in on Jey Uso, which could be a crazy good storyline, I think ultimately Sami Zayn would be very, very, and I mean very important and a really good player to put into the Money in the Bank, his hands. Oh my God, why can't I not talk? Put the Money in the Bank in his hands. Up next is Braun Breaker. So originally I thought this and then my next one were the last two after Logan Paul. I keep going back and forth on would they give it to Braun Breaker. One, he's in an interesting storyline. I think it would be crazier if you give Braun Breaker Money in the Bank briefcase because maybe there's a match with Seth Rollins and Jey Uso that happens and Braun Breaker ultimately cashes in to win it. I really do believe that chances are Braun Breaker is a World Heavyweight Championship holder this year or 2026 for sure. So is it by Money in the Bank? He's just there. He's right there in the main event scene now. He's in a bigger faction. And it makes sense for him to win Money in the Bank. Could this storyline be instead of Seth winning, Braun Breaker winning because he's the real future and Seth is trying to act like a good guy because he's giving Braun Breaker the championship and is trying to grow the talent? That's a compelling story because people might disagree with Seth Rollins' ideas of I'm the only one that can do this, but he's growing the talent. So could we see that with Braun Breaker where he's Money in the Bank, cashes in, and ultimately Braun Breaker becomes World Heavyweight Championship? I could see it. Doesn't happen though. I don't know. LA Knight's my last one. I really don't think that it's LA Knight to win in Los Angeles. It only makes sense for it to happen in Los Angeles as well. He is just there. He had 2 U.S. title reigns. That the first one was amazing. The second one was cut short because of Jacob Fatu. I really believe everyone thought it was going to happen in 2023. Everyone thought it was going to happen in 2024, but then he went to win the U.S. title, which was totally fine. LA Knight should win the Money in the Bank briefcase. It makes sense. He's money. He makes just perfect sense for him to win it. I think the best chance that who's going to win it and what's going to happen is LA Knight and ultimately give him the title. I hope, this is my hope, Seth Rollins wins the title from Jey Uso, maybe at Money in the Bank. Seth Rollins then goes to SummerSlam with the title. LA Knight cashes in on Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. And then you have LA Knight as the champion moving forward for a little bit, and then Seth Rollins maybe tries to win it back at some point. But I ultimately believe LA Knight is money, and I need him to win this title. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.